A member of the community messaged me to help build him the deepest sounding budget 75% keyboard, and since I have a couple of them on hand, I thought, why not? So here's a quick introduction to each of them. The inclusion criteria for these keyboards is pretty intentional. Starting from the lowest tier, we have the YZ75 Pro, a pre-built keyboard that Yunzi sent me. Many of you would have heard of this brand, notably from Hyperglide.
I've been told that in this box is a budget keyboard that sounds like heaven?
Second is the Hy75, a keyboard that my channel partner KTEX sent over. As usual, if you're looking to get some supplies, head on over to their website linked below for your purchases. And then there's the Jerry's, a keyboard that's bordering on budget tier pricing, and also one which my client is interested in. Finally, I included a premium tier keyboard, the Satisfaction 75, as a control. What I will be judging each of these keyboards on will be using two key metrics: value and customizability. Value is subdivided into three categories: price, build quality, and aesthetics. Basically, based on its price, what are you getting back in terms of build quality and exterior looks? Because, like it or not, there is only so much quality you can get out of a keyboard with a low budget to work with. Second is customizability, which is subdivided into two categories: VIA or QMK compatibility for those who like non-QWERTY layouts, and of course acoustic range, whether there's choices to vary the plate, inclusion of foams, and modulability to bring out the best sound in a switch and keyboard combination. It is impossible to build the thockiest keyboard or the deepest sounding keyboard without shortlisting some mods and requirements for all of them. First off, all of them will be built with the most flexible plate available, usually some kind of plastic like polycarbonate or POM. Second, unlike my usual preference, all of them will be packed with foam. Finally, is to standardize the switch and keycap choices, along with the sound test setup. So here's a rundown of the setup. I'm going to use 5 switches. Alpacas. These ones are old but gold. They remain as one of the best sounding ones I've got, mainly because it's not too sharp nor too dull. I like its weight, but does it sound deep? Aqua Kings. No further introduction is needed. I have used this in quite a number of builds. The polycarbonate material throughout the switch is very light, lighter than the likes of POM or nylon in other switch combinations, which also means they give off one of the deepest sounds that I know. Oil Kings. I've yet to try this out myself, but I've heard good things about it. Given that it is made with Gateron's special and mystery material, there isn't much analysis that can be done, so I really have got to try it out. Overall consensus from other reviewers describes it as a pretty deep switch. Hyperglide Blacks. The good old cherry blacks, which has a deep but poppy signature. I recently broke them in with my breaking machine purchased from Dinkies, so I'm pretty excited to try this out. I spring swapped mine too, so they are lighter and smoother. KTT e-watches. I got this for another trade and I haven't got the chance to use them in any keyboard. Not much is known other than the fact that it is a box switch with a polycarbonate top, nylon bottom, and a pawn stem. It is a standard treble switch which I've come to appreciate more and more, with a light 43 grams of actuation force. I can tell that this will be a dark horse for a deep sound amongst these other popular ones. Keycaps wise, 3 sets will be used for comparison. GMK White on Black, which is made of ABS, ePBT Timeless with thick PBT keycaps, and Syracuse White on Black, the version 1s, which are popularly known for the deep sound. Needless to say, these switch and keycap choices serve to present the most comprehensive range of acoustics in each of these keyboards. But because of time, I'll also not be replacing the entire set of switches and keycaps on these keyboards, but just sample the middle region. As for the desk setup, I'll be doing the test on my kitchen island made from sintered stone. The microphone will be placed in the same spot, and aside from raising audio levels in post, no other tuning will be done. Let's start with the YZ75 Pro. This is a keyboard made by Yunzi, a Chinese company that specializes in selling budget, pre-built keyboards. You can choose from 5 different color themes, complete with matching die-sub PBT keycaps and 4 different Gateron G Pro switches, with unbranded stabilizers installed. Yunzi also provided a metal badge that sits on the right of the keyboard if you so wish to swap them. The case is of a plastic construction but doesn't sound hollow, likely due to the fillers that sit in the keyboard. The store's webpage says that it's made of silicone, but it feels more like some kind of cardboard standee type material. YZ also claimed that it is a top-mounted keyboard, but to me these button posts make it seem more like a tray-mounted one. And while YZ does not mention the type of plate, it seems to be something like a PP or PC material. Typical of pre-builds, it comes with RGB lighting and wireless connectivity with a huge 5000 mAh battery. The RGB also runs all the way around the keyboard and is pretty bright even in a well-lit environment. The YZ75 Pro is also hot swappable, which means that you can easily change out or upgrade switches down the line. Although the keyboard is not VIA or QMK compatible, it comes with its own software that allows you to remap switches and tune RGB settings. Tools are also provided, again typical of pre-builds. For this package, the YZ75 Pro will set you back $92 US, shipping not included. Next is the Hy75. This is a keyboard made by Leoborg, a brand under Dongguan Suai, another Chinese company but one that specializes in selling desktop accessories. You can choose from 10 different case colors. This kit does not come with switches nor keycaps, but comes installed with pre-lubed, unbranded plate-mounted stabilizers. On the top right of the keyboard, the Hy75 is equipped with a rotary knob. The case is fully aluminum and feels well constructed without any blemishes. Unlike the YZ75, the Hy75 is a gasket-mounted keyboard and comes with PP plate by default. A set of foams is included for you to tune the typing feel and acoustics to your liking. It is also hot swappable, which means you can also easily change out or upgrade switches down the line. Not to mention, the Hy75 is also VIA and QMK compatible. Unfortunately, no tools are included here, just the USB cable. For this package, the Hy75 will set you back approximately $55 US, shipping not included. Depending on the choice of switches and keycaps, an average build may cost you anywhere between $100 to $300 US. Then is the YZ75 which my client is interested in. This is a keyboard made by My Key Club. While there isn't much I could dig out about the people at My Key Club, they seem to have their roots in Hong Kong, where QWERTY keys came from as well. I mention QWERTY keys here because interestingly, their first keyboard was the QK65, which was released a few months prior to the YZ75, also the first keyboard project by My Key Club. These two design studios bear a lot of resemblance to each other. Maybe the designers exchange notes with each other. Another interesting fact is that My Key Club wanted to name the YZ Iris, but because KeyBio owned the trademark to Iris, My Key Club had to make the name change. Cool details to know. Anyway, the group buy for YZ was ran twice, and this kit that I have here belongs to the first round. In this first round, you can choose from 11 different case color combinations, and this kit does not come with switches, keycaps, nor stabilizers. On the top right of the keyboard, the blocker can be equipped with either a rotary knob, or a badge, or an LED sign assembly, depending on your preference. The case is fully aluminum and feels well constructed as well. The bottom case has an internal brass weight by default, and on the exterior, you have the option of having either an anodized aluminum weight or a stainless steel PVD weight, which is the main highlight of this keyboard and is a differentiating factor from its budget competitors. Functionally, the case is also easy to assemble and disassemble, a great feature for fickle-minded people like me who like to swap out keycaps and switches from time to time. Also, unlike the previous two, on top of being a gasket-mounted keyboard, the YZ75 uses a leaf spring mechanical structure. Its stiffness can be tuned by placing the gasket at specific points. The PCB and plate both come with flex cuts in them. You can choose from 5 different plate options, and here I'm going to use a palm plate for a deeper sounding signature. Or if you like, you can go for a soldered plateless build for a really good flexible typing experience. Should you choose to get the Bluetooth enabled PCB, you can connect the keyboard wirelessly, and that will come with a sizable battery as well. Needless to say, that will require a separate key mapping software for customizing keys. It is also hot swappable, which means you can also easily change out or upgrade switches. A set of foams is included for you to tune the typing feel and acoustics to your liking. Basic tools are also provided here. But one very interesting tool was the inclusion of a customized masking tape for sealing up the flex cut if you think the acoustic is much too muted for your taste. For the barebones kit, excluding shipping, it will set you back upwards of $170 depending on the combination of anodization, PCB and weight choices. And depending on the choice of switches, keycaps and stabilizers, an average build will cost you anywhere between $250 to $450. Finally is the Satisfaction 75. This keyboard is a signature keyboard from the popular vendor Canon Keys. Their upcoming budget version, the Z75X, will be coming soon this year in 2024, so keep an eye out for that if you're interested. The Satisfaction 75 I have here is from the first round of group buy. You can choose from 4 different case colors, and like the YZ, this kit does not come with switches, keycaps, nor stabilizers. On the top right of the keyboard, the Satisfaction 75 is also equipped with a rotary knob, but it's one that cannot be swapped out. Various choices of knobs are available for purchase for those who wish to have something different. One thing to note is that unlike the rest of the keyboard, there is an OLED screen which you can load up things to display. The case is fully aluminum and feels good in the hands like all the others. The bottom case comes with a beautiful external breast weight. The Satisfaction 75 can either be a top mount or a burger mount keyboard, depending on your installation technique. I'll be building the top mount version here as a contrast to all the other gasket mounted competitors. 3 plate choices are available here, but no foams are included in this kit. The PCB only comes in soldered version as well, which may be a bummer for some, but I have new-maxed mine. It is also VIA and QNK compatible. Tools are not provided in this package. Depending on your choice of plate and knob design, the Satisfaction 75 will set you back upwards of $400, shipping not included. With additional purchases of switches, keycaps and stabilizers, an average build will easily cost you around $500. This was a very fun and eye-opening experience. It gave me an insight into how the hobby has evolved over the years. To better explain what I observed, I tabulated the aforementioned metric here, with 1 being the lowest score and 3 being the highest. In terms of price, the YZ and Hy75 definitely takes the cake, with the Jerry's just falling short. Build quality is pretty even Steven, except for the YZ which has a plastic construction. Aesthetics is subjective, yes, but I reckon the majority of people will vote for the Jerry's and Z75. The YZ and Hy75 really aren't bad as minimalistic keyboards, but it's just the appeal of cool looking weights that swung my vote. The ability to remap keys is also appreciated in all the boards, but particularly surprising for YZ because older pre-builds from say Keychron, Corsair or Razer hardly have the ability to. With the inclusion of foams, numerous plate and PCB design options, the Jerry75 stands out among all the options. The Hy75, Satisfaction 75 and YZ75 are pretty self-explanatory with either no foams or limited plate options, or both in the package, forcing a narrow acoustic range on you. From what you can see on this table, what was considered premium before with the Satisfaction 75 will now be looked at as a low value purchase. And the budget tier of pre-builds and custom kits have given these premium keyboards a run for their money, with the number of features that appeal to everyday users. Of course, if you simply like the design language of the Satisfaction 75 being clean and minimalistic, there's no arguing with putting your money there. But for the majority of people, the budget tier of keyboards is all that they're going to need, and if you want something fancier and customizable, a budget to mid-tier keyboard like the Jerry75 will definitely hit the spot. And on an ending note, you realize how all this 75% came but not right. As if it's for... See ya.